Patrick Mahomes was awful. I'm not going to use, he was sick and he had the bug. We don't use excuses, because if he'd have played well, we'd have been talking about he was Michael Jordan. But I'm glad we don't have to talk about that, because all I know is I saw 15 and I saw Mahomes on the back of that jersey. So there's a level of expectation. I don't want to hear nothing about the fumbles. I don't want to hear anything about the drops. It is what it is. He knew going into that game, they knew going into the season that these receivers were young. Sky Moore hasn't gotten any better since his rookie season. Rice is hit or miss. Valdez-Scantling, one game he's going to catch a touchdown and play well. The next game he's going to drop and he's going to fumble. We know that. We know the only receiver that he can consistently count on is Travis Kelce. And he didn't have his best day. And I'm kind of disappointed because, Friday night he was at the Rangers.
What's wrong with that?
It's the middle of the season. What do you mean what's wrong with that?
Listen, I know the Chiefs lost. I know they lost. I know Mahomes didn't have a game. I know Travis Kelce didn't have a game. But you're not going to tell me you can't enjoy yourself on a Friday night, which is a short day. Listen to me. It's a short day.
It was in Texas. He lives in Kansas City.
Oh shit. Okay. I'm tripping. Okay. Okay, that's different.
Yeah, you really
that's
tripping.
Different. Okay. I definitely wouldn't be getting on no plane to go nowhere for no game. But that was the World Series game, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay. Why can't that? Let me ask you one thing.
Ocho, if it's in Kansas City, I got no problem with that. But you mean to tell me you're gonna get on a plane and go to Arlington, and then you got a game on Sunday during the season? Yeah, that's a bad look.
I mean, listen, based on what Travis Kelce's been doing, based on what he's been able to do, the consistency he's put up year in and year out, game by game, it's hard to really argue the fact that him taking a mental reset to go watch the World Series game is the reason why he didn't play well. The team in itself didn't play well.
I'm not saying that's the reason why he didn't play well.
You really think it's a bad look though? Seriously,
it's an awful look. It's a terrible look. If it was the bye week, Ocho, you do realize this is the NFL. Right. You got a game on Sunday. You're gonna board a plane. Let me ask you a question.
That's a mental reset, though. That's a mental reset for him.
Every coach I've ever played for has always told us one thing on Friday: make sure you get off your feet. Make sure you get off your feet. I'm sure everybody that's in the NFL has heard the exact same thing. They don't say, "Hey, we understand that we ain't got no game on Saturday, but hey, go." And then if you look at it, there's videos popping up of he was like raging. He was like out.
Right.
Come on, Ocho. That's a horrible look. I'm not saying it's a bad look. I'm saying it's a horrible look. And Trav, my guy, but it's not a good look.
I understand what you're saying, but it's honestly, Unc, I love you to death, but it's really hard for me to agree with you on this. And Ocho, I understand everybody's different. Listen, I think
Ocho.
I think
Remember,
because
you gotta understand optics matter,
but because of the player, because of the caliber of player, Travis Kelce has a little bit more leniency to do something like that on a Friday, to have a mental reset, to go enjoy a World Series game and be able to come back and perform. Because you know what you get from him. Unc, you know what you get from him week in and week out, baby.
This is why I don't want Travis Kelce to do that, because of the look. If somebody else had done that,
somebody else can't do that. They can't do that. They're not Travis Kelce.
Travis is the leader. But see, here's the thing. Even though I was a leader, I never did anything where the team could see that I was getting privileges, because I'm telling you, they'll grow to resent you. Remember the Russell Wilson, how he got the locker, how he had the office, how he got to come in certain things. He had earned it. He won the Super Bowl. He had been a multiple-time Pro Bowl player. I'm telling you how the human mind works. Your teammates will grow to, I don't care what you've accomplished. Don't thumb their nose in it. Don't make them feel, because don't do it. It's a horrible look. And
that's a tough one. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one.
It's not a tough one, Ocho. It's not a tough one. It's really not. And like I said, if it's the bye week, and we're going to talk about the bye weeks and, how some guys, because when I play, we got Thursday at noon off. And then we had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We had to be back Monday by noon. Now they get their entire week off. And you and I will get into that. What's the proper way to reset during the bye week? You and I discuss that a little later. But during the season, an NFL season, That's a bad look, bro. I'm sorry.
I got you. Listen, times are different now. Everybody different. Everybody has a different approach to the game. Everybody operates differently on the way they do things, and it's hard for me to judge. And I'm just saying, if I was a team of the Kelces, and I understand with all
I would be disappointed. I would be very upset.
I wouldn't, because that's his decision. That's his decision, and he's earned the right to be able to do that. He's earned the right. He's earned the right to be able to do that. Hey, listen. When Sunday, what is Kelce giving me on Sunday when it's time to play at 1:00? I don't care what you're doing on your off time. I'm just telling me personally.
Ocho.
I'm just telling me personally. For you would have been upset. I'm not controlling and conducting what somebody does on their own time. So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do for me on Sundays at 1:00? That's all I care about.
So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. If the player is good, you don't care.
Whoa. When the player is great, don't do that. Don't do that. When the player is great,
when the player is great, you don't care what he does as long as he show up for you and play well on Sunday.
That's all that matters. That's what he gets paid to do. That's what he gets paid to do.
With you, bro.
All the other stuff and all the optics and all that other stuff. I don't care about that. What you doing? What you doing for me on Sunday at 1:00?
It doesn't work, Ocho. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. It really doesn't, Ocho. I mean,
listen.
You play the game. You and I play about the same amount of time. But that's a jaded way.
No,
of
it's
thinking.
not a jaded way of thinking. That's not a jaded way. Because listen, there are privileges. There are so many examples of privileges of certain players that are really good that get to do things that others can't. That's been the lay of the land for the longest. Let's not act like that. Come on now.
I'm not saying.
Come on now. Don't do that.
Get it. Okay, the quarterback getting a parking spot is one thing. leaving your team to fly to Texas. You do realize now. I can see it if it was his dad, if it was his brother. Right. But I'm saying I don't really know the affiliation with him in Kansas City, and that's fine. But that's still a horrible look, Ocho, to leave in the middle of the season and go watch a baseball game when how many times? Now, would he have been upset if another player had done that? So what's to stop another player from going to do something? So what's stopping Patrick Mahomes from going to watch a game during the Super Bowl on a Friday before the Super Bowl? Why?
Can I
Why
tell
not?
you something? Can I tell you something real quick? Man, these boys don't care about that, man. I'm just telling you. They don't care about that.
No.
They don't care. They're not interested in what you're doing on your off time.
But I do. I think he does care. And I wish he'd put a little bit more thought into it because the optics of it is not a very good look.